Welcome to a new episode of Outside the Panels with your host, Johnny the Machine Hughes.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Outside the Panels. I am your host, Johnny the Machine Hughes, and whilst everybody might know me from TDC or the old timers, you guys know how much I love hanging out with indie creators, Kickstarters, small press books, and giving some love out all across the shop. This time around, we have got a very special creator to talk about their book that's due out on Kickstarter on April the 15th. I'm talking to the wonderful and the super glamorous, it has to be said, Laurie Calcaterra. Laurie, how's it going?
I'm great. How are you? Yes, very good. You got it. Good job.
Everyone who knows me or sees me my pods knows that my mutant ability is to get names wrong. It's the thing. It's I apologize. I'm very well. How are you?
Very good. Over in the USA, we're in Texas, and it's bright and sunny and beautiful here. Thank you. No, didn't it snow over by you guys today?
Yes, this morning, 5 a.m., the house got
Ooh.
lashed. And then when that settled down, had a thunderstorm. What's going on? It's crazy. Never mind. So,
I know.
Texas. So does that
It
mean
is. Yeah.
you're a
Mhm.
Texans fan or a Cowboys fan?
You know, I was born and raised in Detroit,
Oh, Lions.
so
Oh, well, okay.
yeah, no, we're not Lions fans either because they suck.
Well, yes,
So
I
it's
know
like this
that.
past Super Bowl was like the closest that Detroit has ever been to the Super Bowl because Stafford was there and Eminem was there. So it's like Detroit was like represent, but we weren't actually there, right?
Yeah.
So
Hey,
let's be honest.
I'm a Dolphins.
So no, I'm not a real big football fan. Are
Hey,
you?
I'm
I'm
huge.
sorry.
I'm a Dolphins fan, so it's like I've been a fan since the middle of the '80s. You know, that time when we haven't won anything since then. So
Dan Marino.
yeah. So
Mm.
anyway,
You know what? My neighbor is a Dolphins fan too. That's so random. Like, why?
that's us.
Why?
What?
Mhm.
Well, I'll tell a quick story then. Okay, so good question. Why? So back in the UK, when American football was just taking off, you used to get a
Mm.
highlight show on a Sunday at 6 p.m. And
Yeah.
when I started watching it, Marino was on a pay strike because he just broke the single season record for touchdown passes. And every show they were doing like a Miami watch. What did Miami do
Yeah.
without Marino? And because it was sort of like rammed down my throat, that was like, well, that's my team, you know.
Ah, it is
So
now.
yeah, and it has honestly it's been that since like 85, 86. So I
That's
can't get away from
awesome.
it really. Yeah,
Yeah, now it's too late. You're stuck.
yeah,
You're stuck
yeah.
again.
I know. Boo me. Anyway,
Uh,
enough football. Enough football.
you're
It's
right.
off season. No football. Right.
Comics.
Comics. Woohoo! Right, we're here to talk about your book. Um,
Hmm.
The Path of the Pale Rider. It's due out on
Hmm.
Kickstarter in a couple of weeks, April the 15th.
Hmm.
So I think I've got a little bit of a picture here. Should we have a look at the picture that we've got? See if
Yeah, put it up. Let's see.
this works. How would you like that,
Yes.
bad boy? Wow.
Ah,
Yeah, that's
that
cool.
that's our official cover that my illustrator did, Marco DeFillo. This just kind of is like a really good choice for the cover because, like, when you go to our Kickstarter preview, like when you get into the Kickstarter and you're able to look at some of the art that we've created in like the section that we've given you. So
Mm-hmm.
it's 8 pages of a comic. It's 24 pages long, and it's kind of
Uh-huh.
like two-thirds into the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And Jude, our cowboy, our main protagonist, Jude St. Clair, he's in the apocalypse for 10 years, and it's him and his horse, and they're going down this cliffside road. And there's this real ominous sign that says caution. It's been crossed out, and it says dead bear. So he's going down this road, and you're like, what the heck does that mean, right? So he goes down
Yeah.
this road, and you see like boulders falling and like just terrible infrastructure. I mean, obviously things have gone wrong. He takes a moment, he talks with his horse prince, and they come to a consensus. Yes, he has a conversation with this horse. She doesn't actually talk, but in her own way, nodding and stomping and stuff. They decide they're going to continue. So, like, they go around the bend, and there's this boulder that has smashed a person. And this is the first time you get a look of, yes, we have zombies. So there's this hand sticking out from underneath this boulder holding something, and Jude makes the decision to go pick it up, and it's this glass, and he like has to wrench it away from this zombie hand. It goes flying in the air, and he leaps to catch it. He almost goes right off the cliff. So this is like crazy man. Gets this glass, and then realizes like that was a stupid thing. Why did I do that? You know, like I don't know what that's just bad decision making. So he kind of like shoves it in the saddlebag and then keep going, and then all these crows start showing up, and around the next bend is indeed a dead bear. So you as the reader are kind of like, okay, it's a carcass, who cares? You know what I mean? But he's being extra quiet, and the horse is being extra quiet. So as they go over this carcass, because it's taking up the whole road, they have this like sigh of relief that they've made it. And then the horse trips, and this glass that Jude picked up falls out of the saddlebag and shatters. So that's what's on this cover, is this shattered glass. And of course, it wakes up the bear.
Not the bear.
The bear. So we have like the last page that I give you on the preview, there's this splash page of this giant undead bear, like just standing behind Jude roaring. Oh, that's a different rendition of the bear, but yes, this is from the variant cover from Jose Martinez. But this is a bear that we lovingly call Big James, right? Who has taken up residence on this road and doesn't like it when anybody's there. So it kind of sets up this world where the death process is broken. So you as a person, if you were to die, your body dies, but your soul stays in the body. So you're stuck in there as you decay, which is horrifying if you think about it.
Oh, it is. Oh, what made you come up with such a I want to say macabre. I'm gonna go with macabre. What was it?
I like all this stuff. Like I love like fantasy, horror, sci-fi, like Walking Dead, I Am Legend, Mad Max, steampunk, like I like playing Fallout, like anything that's like an apocalypse theme. I'm there. So I just had this idea, like what would happen to the world if nothing could die? So no, it's people, animals, insects, nothing dies. So it causes a lot of problems. So I mean, people kind of are like, kind of like if you've had like a head injury or a degenerative disease of the brain. So you start to get forgetful, violent, or indifferent, and it kind of hits everybody differently depending on like genetics and like how you died and stuff like that. So now you start to have this population of like people, and then everything else that goes along with like animals and insects and everything else not dying, all sorts of problems.
So the whole food chain's affected. It's not just one corner of that. Do you think then that?
And you hit it right on the nose.
It's like I've done this before.
Have you?
Does it look like? What was I going to say? With the idea then, so the whole food chain's affected. All the interconnected pieces of our world come into focus a little bit. We're not just taking one side of the planet; it's the whole planet type thing. The impact that it has on the humans, do you kind of see that as a metaphor for some of the mental ill health and mental health that people are suffering nowadays? Is this kind of metaphoric? Is a message you're trying to say out there that, despite what outward appearances may be, there is still a lot of stuff going on inside that we can't see?
That's a really good take on it, and absolutely that's part of it. But I also like the idea that there's now this minority that you can't escape. So you eventually will become part of this group and you have no choice. And it can come at any time, right? It doesn't matter what gender, what race, what
Yeah.
ethnicity, what age you are, it doesn't matter. You know, it can come at any time, and then you switch from the living side to the undead side. And now we have this group of people that, well, let me ask you this. Like, of course, um, in our world, when you die, obviously you don't stay animated. So you lose the right to own property, you lose the right to drive, have firearms, right?
Right.
Vote. All of those things go away. But now that you have someone that's still around and it actually has an opinion, do they keep those rights?
Oh, man. Yeah. Should the undead be able to vote for somebody? That's a good question. Hmm.
Can they own
Who just,
property? Where do they go if you just take their property? They're still
yeah.
here and they're going to be
Can
here
they,
for a while.
can they hold
Forever.
jobs down? Yeah. Can they hold jobs down?
Maybe at first, but I think what happens in this world is like in the beginning when it first started happening, people like died and then went back to work because nobody knew what to do with them, right? It was
Right.
unprecedented. And
Yeah.
then you started to discover like as time goes by that they start to lose their mental facilities,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
But how long does it take? It's different for everybody. So there's no like real set rule about, okay, you can stay working for your job 2 weeks and then you got to go, or 4 months,
Yeah.
or you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
then
So when do you become useful? When do
there's
you become a
riots
useful piece
and
of?
you know what I mean? Like things that,
Yeah.
right,
So when do you stop
paperweight,
becoming useful?
or too violent to, yeah, or too violent to be in the same community with living people, or indifferent. Because again, if you're undead, is living all that important anymore, right?
Ma-
Because if we could run you over with a car and then you could still go home and be with your family, does it matter? I don't know. To
my
them,
head,
it might not matter.
my head is just mashed. I'm like,
I know.
what?
I
Thanks,
know. I
thanks.
I have a lot of stuff built into this world because we were talking about the food chain. Let's talk about
Yes,
food. Do you eat meat, Johnny?
yes.
I do too. What happens when you go to butcher a cow and it's still animated? You can't do it.
Uh,
So we lose meat, right? Okay, well, chicken. We could probably butcher a chicken even though it's moving,
uh,
but does the
I
meat still
couldn't.
move while you eat it?
No, I couldn't. I couldn't do it. I couldn't.
So now we go to vegetarianism and veganism, right? But the insects don't die, and the insects are probably still going to be eating, and pesticides don't work.
Why is there a need
Now
to
back to
eat?
this.
Why is there a need to eat if we're
It
undead?
doesn't. It doesn't need to eat, but I consider insects like, they're kind of stupid. And they might not realize that they're undead because they don't have the same kind of consciousness as like you and I, right? So they probably just go on autopilot doing the same things they always do, which is eat and maybe a couple other things, and that's it.
Yeah. Mm.
So if you can't kill them, what do you do with
Ah,
them? And how do
now
we stop them from eating our food?
now I'm scared of wasps.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you could. I mean, if you smash them, but I mean, if a whole like swarm comes at you, and what do you do? I don't know. So I've written a lot of stuff into this world. The cool part is there's so many things in this world that we're going to explore some of the things outside of the comic.
Okay,
I don't
cool.
know if you were aware of that. Okay, so we have the Kickstarter, we have the main comic story with Jude, and like his path through the world and his search for the answer of what started all of this.
Hmm.
If you think about it, 10 years into any crisis, people have moved on, right?
Hmm.
They're
Yeah.
complacent. They're just kind of scrape by. It is what it is, but there's a few people like Jude that are out there that are still searching for the answers. So that's his kind of path through this world. But there could be other stuff that's going on that maybe he doesn't see because he's not at the right place at the right time.
Right,
So we
right.
have the comic book, and then every issue that goes to Kickstarter, we're also going to be having short films.
All right.
So we have a short film for episode 1 where it's a commercial for an undead retirement community called Pine Fox. Not Pine Box, that's what they bury you in. Pine Fox. Pine Fox. And it's like a real commercial. It's like it shows the community, but it's like we intersplice the commercial with these images of riots and like unrest and what's kind of really going on. So you have this nice juxtaposition of like white picket fence and what we wish was, going on, and then like the riots and violence, which is like, wake up, this is what's really happening.
Cool.
So, and then these are going to be interactive starting with episode 2. So the readers will have a chance to send me, like, I'll put out like a topic. Like episode 2, we're going to tackle conspiracy theories. So everybody has a chance to send me a 30-second clip of themselves talking about what theory do you have about why this is happening, right?
All right,
And I'm going to edit them all together and make a cohesive film, and we're going to have a short film where everybody is going to be talking about crazy conspiracy theories. So it's funny.
Okay, I'll throw mine in.
It's just part of the interaction that we have. Go ahead.
I'll throw mine in now.
What's your theory?
It's Paul McCartney. Since he fake died in the Beatles back in the 60s, he's the one that started it all. He took the soul out of the Beatles when he fake died, so it's Paul McCartney's fault.
I see. There is also the song "Hey Jude," which fits in nicely. So.
All right, hey, what can I say? I'm on point, right? I'm on point. I'm there. I'm like, yeah, I've got this.
Yeah. But I mean, there's all sorts of conspiracy theories. It could be chemical, it could be aliens, it could be the rapture, it could be government. Like,
it's Paul McCartney.
There's so many things and reasons out there. It's Paul McCartney. I like yours. Yours is original.
I put some thought into that one. So zombies, cowboys, a horse with a relationship. There's lots of different genres going on there. How do you manage to kind of juggle them? And do you have a particular favorite? Because you already mentioned I Am Legend, which is the Will Smith movie where he's walking around the zombie apocalypse with a dog. So there's a parallel of sorts there.
Right.
Walking Dead, zombie movies and stuff like that. So how do you? Yeah, cowboys. I mean, you're in Texas, right?
Yeah.
All my exes live in Texas.
That's one of the nicer things you can say about Texas. So
hey, that and Fast and Loud. That's all I know, man. That's all I know. Gas Monkey Garage.
Okay,
that's
good.
it. So
I don't think I juggle them. I think they all work together nicely. It's just it's funny because it starts out as a spaghetti western in the apocalypse. And it kind of shows like the way the world has turned out after 10 years. It's devolved into the Wild West. But when you start to see like Jude and what he's wearing, he has like technology from the world. So you can tell right away that it's not the Wild West. Something else is going on here. But the more he travels, there's going to be a lot of different things that he's going to see, and it's going to change themes depending on his journey. So it's really cool. You'll get to see some really interesting things.
Cool. I'm looking forward to that then. So is this, pardon my ignorance, is this your first foray into comic book world?
It is my first comic. Yes, it is. I wrote another web series for a production company in Detroit, and it was like a spy drama. I actually started out with them choreographing fight scenes since I'm a martial artist. So I've been a martial artist for 25 years, and that's kind of where I live. And then got the writing bug for them after I was choreographing stuff, and then really enjoyed it, and then had this idea, and then I built the whole world first. Like I had the idea of like, what would, asking all the questions, what would happen if this, and what would happen to this, and what would happen if, so I kind of built all the rules, and then I created my hero, this cowboy. He didn't even have a name for the first year. And I just had, I started writing his journey.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what's your martial art? Yeah, you mentioned which martial art do you practice?
I've been practicing Indonesian and Filipino martial arts for 25 years. So I started out with pencak silat. I also do kali, eskrima, modern arnis, all of the weapons-based stuff. Right now, I'm currently studying Kali's Illustrissimo under Vico Perrin. It's really brutal art, and I love it.
Noted.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, you're like, she's cute, but will she kick my
Yeah.
butt?
Yes, she will to both of those.
Yes, I will.
All right. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Right. So you've you've started choreographing fight-ins for a company for comic books. Now you're writing. How
Yeah.
how do you then manage to kind of you've written the book? How do you manage to then trust other people to take what you've written and put it together if you're used to kind of being a bit of a, in control? This is what I want to see. This is how I want to see it. How do you hand that off to the artist? And now's a great time to give name checks to everyone involved, by all means.
Yeah, that's actually the hardest part is finding someone to collaborate with that will take your baby
Uh-huh.
and do it right. You know what I mean? And my illustrator, his name is Marco DeFillo, and he is fabulous. It took me a long time to find him. I actually had some other artists that were involved on the project, like you saw the bear. That's actually
All right, yeah.
done by Jose Martinez, who was involved in the project. And then there's other art on the page that's from David Rodriguez, and both of them were involved in the comic before Marco. But it's so hard.
Mm.
2020 was insane, of course, and that's of course when we were getting started on this. And
Yeah.
I feel like 2020 hit both of them with a sledgehammer, and
Mm.
they had to drop out because of time. If you don't have time to draw it, then I mean,
Maybe that's what.
especially for Kickstarter, if you're going to
Yeah.
say we're going to be funded on such and such date, and then we're going to have this to you by August of 2022, and we don't deliver, no one's coming back for episode 2. No one's coming back. So it's like you have to have that person that is good with deadlines, can be professional, can communicate, and also can see your vision. And
Mm.
that's what Marco is. He's all of those things. So him and I connected actually through social media. There's a Facebook group called Connecting Writers with Comic Book Artists.
Catchy title.
I mean, but that's exactly what I was looking for, right? Because I was like, how do I find an artist who wants work? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I actually talked to a couple artists, and I was like, hey, I got a big project. You'll have continuous work. I've written 13 episodes that are ready to go. We're going to Kickstarter it, and we're going to turn them out one after the other. And some people were like, that's going to be like 2 years of my life. And I was like, yeah, but you're going to be paid for it. And they were like, that's too much commitment for me. I don't want to work on the same thing for 2 years. And I was like,
Really?
okay, yeah. As an artist, you have to have, I mean, they wanted to be able to work on their own stuff too, Johnny. So, I mean, if
I
they're
know,
if they're
but
giving me all of their time, they don't have time to develop their own things. That's the thinking behind that. My thing
yeah,
is I'm going to pay you to create 13 episodes where you don't have to be a starving artist.
yeah.
No?
So
Okay.
no, see for me,
I know.
what one thing one thing leads to the other. Therefore, because of. All right, excellent. So then, are you then saying that you're a bit of a takeover Ted? You're someone who likes to be in total
No.
control. Are you happy to just trust Marcos?
I do trust Marco.
Okay.
And that's the best thing I can do because he's the artist here. So our process is this. Okay. So episode 1, we sat down, we read the whole script.
Right.
And then I kind of pointed out like things that were important, things that are notable that have to be seen.
Okay. Good shout.
After that, he had free reign. Like he did some character sketches, of course. He looks like Jude to me. He looks
Mm-hmm.
like how I see him in my head. So I'm like really descriptive in my script, or Marco is, and it's a combination of the two. Like I'm really descriptive, but Marco was very talented to see what's on the page and be able to draw it and to breathe life into it.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of does like three different versions of a page, and he'll slightly change like paneling or perspective or something,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll kind of go through all the pages and be like, oh, this one's really cool, I really like this, and da, da, da. And a lot of times he makes those decisions himself, like I like this one and I like this one and I want to put those two together, and I'm like, yes. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
the professional.
Cool.
He's the one that's been doing this. So he does an excellent job of being like, okay, this is what's important, this is where it needs to be on the page, and this is how we're going to panel it, and this is the perspective in the shot. Amazing. Because, I mean, if you think about it, it's like he has to draw anatomy,
Uh-huh.
he has to draw scenery,
Uh-huh.
he has to draw action,
Has to draw a horse.
Has to draw a horse, has to draw zombies, undead bears, technology that doesn't exist. You know what I mean? And he has to do it all in a way that it's cohesive and it makes sense. And I mean, like we're cognizant of where the pages turn. You know what I mean? Like to have a complete thought on the page. So when you turn the page, you're starting a new thought.
Yeah.
He does an amazing job. And I don't want to stand in the way of his creativity.
Cool.
So after we read the script and he kind of does his thing, I give my 2 cents here and there, but most of it is him being like, okay, I moved this and this. Which one do you like better? This one. Okay.
So
Turns out beautiful stuff.
Does that then give you more confidence to write then? Because you're obviously creating, as you say, descriptive scripts. You're getting the point across. He's using that to produce fantastic work. Do you then sit back and think, well, you know what? I helped contribute this. This means I'm onto something. Does this help your confidence as a writer?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. To have someone to be able to read your script and to put on a page what's in your head, it's almost surreal. It's like, oh, that's what this looks like. Yes, it does. You know what I mean?
Instant gratification.
It is gratifying. Absolutely. It's so satisfying to look at the pages and be like, absolutely what I was thinking, and it looks fabulous. So I think him and I together are a winning team, and that this project is it's going to be a long-term running comic that people are going to fall in love with and fall into the rabbit hole. You know,
get down that rabbit hole.
We have the short films. I didn't even tell you the rabbit hole. So on every issue, we're also having a riddle. So on the back cover of issue 1, there's a riddle to solve.
I've just seen the Batman. I have my head smashed already. I don't want my more. I'm joking. Go for it.
Did you see the back?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
I was like, did you see it? Because it's on the webpage.
I've seen it.
Okay, did you solve it?
No. Even if I did, I'm not going to see it.
There's a riddle there, and if you solve it, it takes you to a place in the real world.
Right. Challenge
accepted. And then every episode after this, they're actually gonna start to get harder than this. This one's an easy one. So we're gonna have additional content just for the people that can solve the riddles.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Right. We'll take a quick break there whilst we get the next set of questions ready to go. Whilst we're having a break and grabbing a quick splash of water, here's one of our adverts for one of our other shows on the UCPN. Hey, we're talking Texas, we're talking America. There's only one theme song that I know that sounds like that. Check out the Old Timers.
Do you want to find out what makes the professor do his happy dance? Check out the Old Timers Comic Book Show, only on the UCPN.
There you go, the Old Timers Comic Book Show, where the hosts aren't old, but the comics most certainly are. All right. Check out a recent episode that will have, it's a March Madness episode.
Cool.
Go check it out. All right. I need to ask you a question. I was looking through all the stuff you sent across, and I saw an image, and I really, really like this image.
Show me which one.
That one.
Uh-huh.
So I'm after talking. The first time I looked at it, I was like, "What's this?" But then I kind of get to see the skeleton side is the decomposing body, and the angel side is the spirit, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot. This one is a deep image.
Okay.
This is actually my art. I created this image,
wow.
And I can't really go into too much detail because it's a major spoiler.
Okay.
But you will find out what this is and what this means. And when you get to the episode and you read the episode and you read what this is, you're going to be like, it was there the whole time. There the whole time. So,
fine.
Yeah.
I'll remove that from there then so we don't spoil anything else.
Well, there's nothing, I mean, no one will know what I'm talking about. But it's a great image and it represents the comic. And like when you do read it, and it'll turn on the light bulb will turn on and be like, that's what that is.
Oh my! What do you mean? I'm still going to struggle about the riddle later. That's all. Check
Oh
that
yeah,
out.
you got to go solve the riddle. Actually, someone actually solved the first riddle, so I have one person that figured it out. So who's going to be number 2? That's what I want to know. Johnny, is it you? I don't know.
Probably not.
Ah,
No.
you can figure it out.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. All right. So, have you been a comic book fan yourself in the
Oh,
past?
absolutely,
What what
absolutely.
what's your comic book
More so,
inspirations then?
which one is my what?
What are your comic book inspirations? What sort of comic books have you read in the past that you really enjoy?
Okay, well, we've read all the Walking Deads. East of West by
All right.
Hickman. Really anything by Kirkman is fabulous. So Invincible,
Yep.
Outcast. What's that last one he did? Oblivion Song. I read a lot of Image comics, so like Low and Nailbiter and Saga,
Yep.
Lazarus. Those are all pretty much apocalypse. Spread.
Hmm.
They're all fabulous, and they're all they're so different. The take on the apocalypse is different. So like Low, the surface gets too hot and the people have to go underwater to survive. So they have these underwater colonies that are
Yep.
separated from each other, but oxygen is running out. So if they
Hmm.
can't go to the surface and they have no oxygen underwater, they're kind of running out of time, right?
Right.
So there's a family that has this ancient suit. It's like a scuba suit, but it's really rad. But it's tied into their genetics. So only people from that family can pilot this suit.
Hmm.
And it's so there's an interesting take on that. And like the mother is this optimist when everybody else is just like ready for the end of the world and end of humanity, right? They're drinking, it's debauchery, and everything else is like blowing up and crime. But she's like, there's the surface is getting better, I promise you. But no one believes her. So it's like
Yeah.
that series is just real interesting to me because it's mostly underwater.
Okay.
Um, I mean, have you read East of West? Have you?
I read it. I read it a while ago. I haven't been. I
Yeah.
haven't. I'm not. I'm not on top of East of that at all. I'm afraid. I read so many books. I see so many books on
Yeah.
there because I write reviews for Crusaders. So I see a whole
Cool.
host of Image stuff. I see a lot of Boom stuff. I see some Marvel, DC stuff.
Yeah.
You mentioned Hickman. Have you been reading his X-Men, or have you just kind of missed that out?
Just East of West. I don't read a lot of classic comics. I should. I just
Yeah,
haven't.
no, no,
Um,
no one should read anything. This is the thing. This is a great thing about comics. You can just read what you like, and that's fine.
right.
Yeah, no
No,
one.
but I love Marvel. I enjoy all the Marvel movies and series and Disney Plus, and like was just watching Moon Knight yesterday, and I thought that was fabulous. Bless you.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Oh man, getting over a flu. So, whew.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not cool. Could have been worse. Um,
Right.
yeah. So, yeah, I saw Moon Knight. Watched Moon Knight last night. I thought it was all right. I'm not a big Moon Knight character fan to start with, so it's probably a little bit lost on me. But
I mean, he's a more obscure character, but I think that's why it's a good one for them to choose. It's not going to upset too many people if they change the plot around.
uh,
People haven't read it, right?
oh man, don't.
So,
I have a friend. I have a friend on Old Timers who absolutely adores Moon Knight. It's like he's
oh, I'm sure he's
proper,
mad.
proper into it. That's like, oh,
Good luck.
yeah,
We'll
yeah.
hold
Good
your
luck with
hand as you watch.
that. Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. So do you think then this is a bit of left field question? DC ages ago used to have Vertigo, the imprint of books like Sandman were out and
Mm.
Swamp Thing, and pretty much DC would put out a lot of sort of material that wasn't for the superhero market. Do you think that with the closure of that line of comics for DC, do you think that's opened up the comic book industry for yourself and other small print runs and Kickstarters to kind of go not mass market but have a mass audience, I suppose, as opposed to just having that one avenue?
Yeah, I think so. I think like yeah, like stories that are just not superhero. I think back in the day, DC, I can't think of any Marvel lines that really did that.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
Epic was probably the
Yeah.
only, but even then that was a bit. I think they had some Jim Starlin stuff on there and some early Peter David stuff, but yeah, but mainly you're absolutely right, mainly
Mainly
DC's. Yeah, but
DC, yeah.
yeah,
But I think
with
that yes, there is, I mean, absolutely, they kind of busted the doors open for that so you could do a non-superhero and still have a comic book, and now it's everywhere. You can have
Yeah.
a comic book on just about any topic you want, and that's awesome. Because there's readers out there for you. There's an audience for you. If you like it, I'm sure somebody else does too.
That's exactly what I say. That's exactly what I say. Cool. So, do you think zombies are still? Because I mean, Walking Dead's massive. It is massive.
Yeah.
The TV show's probably lasted a couple of seasons too long. Yes, people are going to hate me for saying it, but yeah,
I think it
whatever.
jumped the shark. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Um, do you think that there is still an attraction to zombies then?
Absolutely.
The better be your thinking.
Well, I mean, the zombies are kind of it's important to the story, but my zombies are different, where it's almost
Uh-huh.
like where they're not like flesh-eating,
Yeah.
mindless creatures that are going to come after you. You have to still deal with cunning, undead people, and it's the mechanics of death, which is more of the main antagonist, where it's like you can't die, but things are still going to happen to you, and because of the way the death
Hmm.
process is broken, that's what causes all the problems.
Yeah.
It's like you can have gangs of undead people walking across the West just killing everybody that they want, you know what I mean? Because there's no
Yeah.
consequences at this point. But I still think that zombies are a great genre. I mean, if you look at some of the South Korean movies that are coming out they're great. And I mean, like Train from Busan was awesome.
Right.
Alive, and then what was the other one? I just watched it not too long ago, maybe a month ago. It's like We're All Gonna Die or something like that.
I don't know. I honestly, that is one area. I still haven't watched all of what you call the show on Netflix, the game one. Everyone was
Squid
playing it.
Game. Squid Game was
Yeah, there you
fabulous.
go.
Absolutely. And it's
My
like
wife loved it. I was like, "What's going on?" I'm just
that's a good
horrid.
show.
Yeah, a couple
It's a
of them
good
are
show.
really good. Yeah. Um,
A million people agree with me there, Johnny.
yeah, yeah.
So
Hey, you know what? I'm used to being on the wrong side of an argument, so it's fine. I'm all right with
you're like,
that.
I'm married. I know what it's like to disagree.
Correct. Hell's yes. I want to ask you a quick question about these pictures, stroke covers, if I may.
Bring them up. Let's see. Are you on the web page?
I am sharing stuff as I'm going across. Yes,
Okay,
is that
because
okay?
yeah. I just want to
If
check
not, it's
because
a bit too late.
yesterday I was talking to Al,
All
and
right.
the 8-page preview should be on the web page, and it wouldn't pull up. So I went to the web page last night, and I took all the pictures off and I put them back on. So hopefully they're back up for you to see the 8-page preview. Are they there?
Let's have a look. I'll have to have a. Give me 2 seconds.
But yeah, this is me doing a photo shoot.
Can't see. There's the link to the Kickstarter. There's art. Click on that. Let's see where that is. The preview. No, there's no sort of. There's just
They're
images on there at the moment.
the black and white pages.
There's one with the character designs on.
I don't know what's up with the web page. I'll have to
And
look at it
then
again.
there is
Obviously, I'm not a web designer.
a couple of riddles there. I can see the riddles. So
Yeah, the riddles at the bottom.
I'm gonna have a bash at those later. So, so let's get this
Okay.
let's get this picture back up so we can see your fantastic modeling as it was. Is that what I'm looking for? Boom, there you go. See that there. Ta-da! Check it out. So are these
Yeah.
going to be variant covers and treats for readers down the line as stretch
This
goals?
is just additional content. I am just not happy with having everything in one medium. So like comic books are great and I like to explore
Mhm.
that, but I like the bottom middle one, it was like that's the riot patches we wore in the short film.
All
And
right, okay.
then I was just doing some promo art. So I created my own cosplay, like what it would look like in this world. And if you look at the top right one, I'm wearing a disc. I actually created a working disc. So a disc is something that my characters wear. It's a government issue thing, kind of like a driver's license. But if you tap the circle in the middle, it's a light and it lights up with your heartbeat
All right,
and it
okay.
makes an audio sound of the heart. So it's kind of one of those things where if you're recently undead and they come and they tap it, if you don't have a heartbeat, it should be, a flat line and turns red. So it's a way to discern, the undead from the living real quickly, if everybody is wearing these things. But you have to remember we're people. And if it's technology, we like to hack things. So
and who follows all the rules anyway?
Who follows all the rules anyway? Exactly. So then, it's like, do you trust the technology that's in front of you? That's a good question. So, but it was a lot of fun, like actually making the disc, and then I love my new cowboy hat. Like here I am in Texas. It was the best place to be to like, I got a hat now. It's official. I'm from Texas. So just doing some cowboy images. It's hard to read that top one on the left, but it says, you know how you always see like the loony with the sign that says the end is coming?
Yeah, I can see that one. Yeah. I'm going to see if I can...
Mine says the end is never coming, which to me is scarier if you think about it.
Let me just go try and do if I can make this a bit bigger for everyone so everyone can see. Chrome tab, art. Give me 2 seconds. There you go. How's that look?
Yeah.
It's better, doesn't it? The end is
never coming. So you're just stuck here. Most apocalypse themes is like the end is coming, prepare yourself, and and it's like, to me it's even worse. It's like the end is never coming. It's terrible. It's hell here, and there's no escape. Even when you die, it gets worse. So
there's your disc.
That's the disc, yeah.
Your arc reactor going on there.
Yeah, pretty much. It doesn't power a suit.
Yeah.
Me with some knives, because that's what I do. Me looking angry at a riot.
And you getting ready to do some line dancing there in that bottom one. Excellent.
Yeah, that's like the so typical cowboy stance. It's like, if you're going to wear a cowboy hat, you have to put your back up against a tree, put your leg up, and put your hand on your hat and have a picture taken, because that's how it goes.
Chew some straw.
Yeah, I was told I must do this pose. I was like, hey.
Just go, what's up, all the time. What's up?
No, they know we're, and a lot of times the locals who are from Texas, and then we start talking, and they're like, where are you from?
Yeah.
Dang it.
I almost had it that time.
I know. I must have said something with an A in it. I had packets. Like, oh, you're from the Midwest. Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. So there you go. The blurb at the bottom for your social medias there, for your Twitter and for your Facebook. So if you're watching this, by all means, pause when the words are on the screen. Don't be a fool and pick it when it's not on. However, come on, play the game. Styles. And then, of course, on top of that, you've got where we at? There we go. There's the Kickstarter address going across there. What we can do is we'll maybe what I'll do for people who want to have a quick look at that. Boom, there you go. Check it out. Make a note of that. Get your photo cameras, take some pictures, and do whatever it is to type it in the right way. And we'll go from there.
I think the most important one of those is the Kickstarter link, because it will take you to like a pre-launch page. There's a green banner. If you click on that green banner, it's going to say, give me your email, and we will notify you when this project launches. So we're about 2 weeks away. So 2 weeks from now, everybody's going to forget that we exist, and then it's like our Kickstarter is going to be live for 30 days, and that's it. So if you miss the 30 days, you've missed out episode 1, maybe. As long as we get funded, we could always, reissue episode 1 the next time. But the goal is to get funded so we can have issue 1 and then start, rolling out issue 2, issue 3, issue 4. When we get to issue 8, it's going to blow your mind. Blow your mind.
There you go. Straight from the horse's mouth.
Yes.
There you go.
That's my name, we're Prince.
All right. Excellent. Laurie, thank you so much for spending the time. I really do appreciate it.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me on.
You are more than welcome.
And we will ship internationally, by the way.
Good question. Good point.
Yes.
So internationally, check your Kickstarter when it goes live. Check to see how you get that done. Check, of course, you've got digitally as well. And of course, I'm sure there's going to be a shed load of stretch goals.
We have stretch goals.
Yeah. We have a show called Flipside Focus, which deals on with indie books. More than happy to pass on the details so we can get some more love for your book going as that live
Absolutely.
as it goes live. So there you go. You're getting
Yeah.
the full court press,
Thank you.
which I know isn't a football term at all. But
No, it's not, but that's okay.
basketball, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Full court press is basketball.
Baseball and football, that's where I stand. All right. Okay, so Laurie, thanks very much. Don't forget to check out UCPN for all your favourite shows, including the Definitive Crusade for everything DC, the No Prize podcast for everything Marvel, and of course, for you old timers out there, don't forget out the Old Timers Comic Book Show, just for those comics that are a little bit more mature in age, if not tone. There you go. Yeah. Laurie, don't disappear. At the end of the credits, we'll catch up. And for me, that's it. Adios.
Visit undercovercapes.com for the latest and greatest podcasts via the Undercover Capes Podcast Network. Also visit our parent company website, comiccrusaders.shop, all about comic pop culture.